Good day, students. Trust you're all doing good today. Today we'll be looking at constructivism in open and distance learning. May I ask, what is constructivism? And also, what is open and distance learning? Constructivism has to do with learning from prior knowledge. Learning things or bringing things you have learned from prior knowledge, not necessarily things you have learned at the moment, or things you learn in the future. So constructivism is a learning theory about how people learn. We know that people learn differently. Constructivism says that learners actively build their own knowledge and not depending on the knowledge or learning of other people. Learning happens when students connect new ideas to what they already know. So constructivism talks about connecting prior knowledge to what you now know, or connecting new knowledge to what you already know before now. And constructivism also helps us understand that learner is not passive, that the learner is actively involved in the learning process and is not teacher-centered. Please, if you have any question, feel free to ask. So we have key ideas of constructivism. One of them is that learning is student-centered and not teacher-centered. Students learn by doing, by thinking, and by reflecting. So they take part actively in the learning process. And also, may I let you know that mistakes are part of this learning process in constructivism. And mistakes also help the learners in their understanding, because when they make mistakes, they tend to try again and then get better at what they do. Another key idea of constructivism is that it aids interaction with others, and then when this interaction takes place, it helps improve their learning. Now, connecting constructivism with open and distance learning, we are going to see the connection. Open and distance learning means learning outside a traditional classroom or learning outside the four walls of a classroom. Teachers and students are separated by distance or time. Learning uses technology such as phones, computers, radio, or printed materials. And then in open and distance learning, students learn at their own pace and time. Constructivism in open and distance learning. So here we are going to connect constructivism and distance learning together. Here, students take responsibility for their own learning. Remember, I told you before that open and distance learning, where the students have their own learning pace and time. Somebody in the US and somebody in Nigeria can be learning the same thing at different time and at their own pace. We all know that there are different time zones in these two countries. Okay, so but open and distance learning has bridged this gap. Here, learners explore lessons using online materials and activities. Students ask questions, research, and share ideas online. Learning is flexible and based on real-life experiences. Like I said before, if you have any question, please feel free to ask, or you have something to add, you can also add. Yes, what is the role of the teacher in constructivist open and distance learning? The teacher acts as a guide and facilitator. Remember, like I said before, it's not constructivism in ODL is not teacher-centered. It is actually student-centered. So the teacher provides learning resources and activities. The teacher encourages discussion and critical thinking. The teacher supports students, not just gives notes. What is the role of the learner in constructivist ODL? The learner is active and responsible. I take that again. The learner is active and responsible for his or her learning. The learner studies independently and collaborates with others So he interacts with others, thereby learning. The learner reflects on what has been learned. The learner applies knowledge to real-life situations. Conclusively, we'll look at the benefits of constructivism in ODL. Constructivism encourages independent and lifelong learning. It improves problem and thinking skills. It makes learning meaningful and practical, allows learners to learn anytime and anywhere.